Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, hello. My name is Loey. I have been traveling so much so far this summer, and one place that I went in particular that I was not expecting anything creepy to happen was the Caribbean. However, I think because it's me, I did have some weird stuff happen, and I'm going to be telling you guys that story in today's video, as well as getting your thoughts on the situation. But before we get into that, today's video is kindly sponsored by Dove, who has been saving my hair this summer. You guys will have known from my more recent videos that I have been on a bit of a hair journey and trying to get my natural curl pattern to be back and healthier than ever. And the reason my natural hair has a little bit of trouble is because I heat style my hair so frequently, like it is right now. But whether it is natural or heat styled, I have been obsessed with this Dove Intensive Repair Conditioner to really lock in the moisture and reduce visible signs of damage. Now, I have super damaged, super dry hair. Since addressing the damage of my hair is one of my main concerns, I really love the Intensive Repair line, but Dove has an entire line of different conditioners best suited for different hair types. So no matter your hair type and no matter your goals with your hair, there is a Dove conditioner out there that is perfect for you. The Intensive Repair line is specifically designed for damaged hair and also helps to reduce visible signs of damage. Plus, it smooths and conditions, and my hair feels soft and sleek and shiny all day long. Make sure you guys visit walmart.com to find the best Dove conditioner that suits your hair texture and hair needs. Thank you so much to Dove for sponsoring today's video and also saving this head of hair. Without any further ado, let's get into the infamous Caribbean haunted hotel room possum story. Yes, you heard all of that correctly. And I cannot wait to tell you guys about the fiasco that was my final night in Anguilla. If you guys watched my most recent plus size bikini haul, which if you didn't, I will have it linked down below. It was a pretty good one if you don't mind my saying so. I went to the Caribbean on a brand trip and had the best time ever. I got to frolic around in the sun and do all sorts of fun things, but I also got to take a really good friend of mine along, Eleanor, also known as Snitchery here on YouTube. She agreed to be my plus one. So I just want to throw it out there that when you are in a situation with me, no matter where we are, there is always the risk for something paranormal happening. Sorry, Elle. Also, I think she's gonna make a video about this as well, so if it's already up, I will have it linked down below. But before this, Eleanor and I had been in Vegas together, and we went to the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum in Vegas together, had a really interesting time there, but she didn't really experience much, and she actually has told me previously that she's had like no paranormal experiences, that she does believe in the paranormal, but nothing specifically had happened to her. So again, sorry, Elle. So you have two girls in the Caribbean surrounded by people in a giant house, basically. This isn't even really a hotel that we're staying in. It's a giant house. I have vlogs coming up on it pretty soon on my vlog channel, but ultimately, neither one of us were freaked out. Not even kind of. Ghosts were not like a forefront on our mind. We were having fun. We were thriving in the sun. And then the last day that we were there, literally the entire energy around our hotel house room seemed to change. It started first thing in the morning. Now, the night before this, I had noticed that I was having some trouble sleeping, some trouble falling asleep, some trouble staying asleep, but just kind of chalked it up to the fact that it's me, and sometimes I do have like a little bit of trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, whatever. I usually sleep like a rock, I will be honest, and usually when I am woken up through the night, it is like something paranormal or something is off with the energy, if that makes any sense. But ultimately didn't think too much of it, was also exhausted and just like having the time of my life, so didn't put a lot of thought behind the fact that I kept waking up. But the next day, as Eleanor and I are getting ready, we hear this sound from the bathroom. To explain this, basically on one half of the room was like really big, and on one part was the toilet and a sink, on the other part was the shower and another sink, so that someone could be showering and somebody could be going to the bathroom without disturbing anybody. From this side of the room, in the bathroom that had the toilet, we heard what sounded like something scratching on the walls. And we kind of looked at each other and like had this moment of like, did you just hear what I heard? And we're looking around trying to figure out what it was, trying to figure out if it was something on the other side, not 100% certain what the noise was, because we had been in this house for days at this point and had heard nothing like that. But as we're getting ready, we keep hearing these weird sounds that are like scratches, and at one point we hear what sounds like a little like growl. And both of us are like, is there something in the walls? Like, what is happening? The house is so nice and like huge and beautiful and obviously super well maintained, and like neither one of us thought that there would just be like some sort of like weird creature in the walls, but here we were like hearing these scratching and growling sounds. We were thrown off and we're making jokes about it, but ultimately like weren't all that concerned, as silly as that may seem. We just thought it was the pipes or something along those lines, something we just hadn't noticed before. Maybe somebody above us was making weird sounds. We didn't really know, but ultimately just brushed it off. And a part of this story that I'm not sure is relevant to this experience or not, but I'm gonna tell it anyway, is that Eleanor and I kept having these bizarre psychic moments where like we would say something and 2 seconds later, whatever we were talking about was coming back up in the conversations around us. And it wasn't like we were talking loudly and then someone overheard us and they were like, oh yeah, like I'll talk to you about blah, blah, blah. It was like very distinct key phrases and words. Like, I won't drop names, but we were talking about a really old, like not really like super relevant celeb, and talking about them, and for no reason, by the way, just like went head first into this conversation about the celebrity. And we're talking about how we didn't really like F with them, like they don't seem like a cool person, like kind of glad they fell out of the limelight, like whatever. I kid you not, within the hour, we were around other people who were talking about that celebrity and how they were just at their house. Like somebody that should not have just come up in conversation. Very weird. Like over and over and over again around us, the things that we were talking about were coming up in conversation or were happening, or like just the weirdest stuff. We would say someone's name and they would text us 2 seconds later. Stuff like that, to the point that we eventually just got to this place where we were like, okay, everything we are saying is like coming true today, so we're gonna watch what we say a bit more carefully. It was very weird, and I don't know if it was like a moon thing or whatever, but Eleanor like says she never has stuff like that happen to her. So fast forward a bit, we're in our room that night when we hear the most god-awful noise. Like, imagine someone dragging a freaking rake across a chalkboard. Like, it sounded like, so the bathroom was almost like tile, like stone. It sounded like something with like giant freaking claws just scratched along the floor. And both of us just looked at each other, and immediately Eleanor started sobbing because she thought it was a possum. I was freaked out because I was like, that is so loud. It's literally right there. We had heard each other in the bathroom up until this point. We know what it sounds like when somebody or something is in the bathroom. She's thinking it's a possum. I'm thinking, holy crap, that's a ghost. My camera, of course, died in the middle of me explaining this, but essentially, chaos ensues, and we're laughing and crying, and I am posting on Instagram stories, which I'm really glad I have in hindsight now, because I'll insert a little bit of that right now.
So, because it's me, our room in the Caribbean is haunted. This has been something we've thought about for some time. And Eleanor just said she would rather it's a human corpse
than a possum. I would like to clarify my last story and explain to you that Eleanor is more afraid of a possum than she is of a human corpse.
The possum is more likely. There are possums, I've heard, in places like Florida, so it could absolutely happen in the Caribbean. I've yet to encounter a ghost, and I've only encountered a possum.
It's our last night there, and so our friend Eli was like, guys, come out to the hot tub. Just like come hang out, we'll talk, we'll like have drinks, like whatever. And we're like, Eli, we literally cannot come because there is a possum in our bathroom. So he's like, oh my God, you guys are nuts. I'll be right there. He's literally the cutest in the entire world. We adore him. I cannot wait to hang out with him more once I'm back in LA. But he comes to our room, and basically he like opens the door to our room but gives himself a bit of an entrance, which again I will insert right here. Oh my God, it's the possum! So he comes in at this point. Because he's there, I feel brave enough to check the bathroom to see if there is a possum and or, you know, a ghost in there. So when I go in to go check, of course, Nothing is there. Nothing is even remotely there. There is no sign of a possum, no sign of a ghost. Eli laughs at us and says, okay, well, come out when you guys are like chilled out and like we'll all hang out at the hot tub. So Eleanor and I are just kind of like hanging out in the room, talking about this, like explaining this, like whatever. I think at one point she went live on her Instagram to like talk about it because she's still in tears. She was so scared of the idea that it was a possum. So we're just sitting there. There was kind of just this really weird energy that fell over the room, especially because someone in particular said if you are hearing scratching sounds like that, and if you guys have heard like other weird stuff like growling and other scratching and stuff that you can't really explain, it is best not to acknowledge it, and here are the steps you need to take. It felt very serious, and as we were reading it and kind of like debating in our heads like what could it be, the room just started feeling really heavy and really stuffy, and we couldn't tell if it was in our heads, if it was an energy that was kind of there and spreading over the room. So we decided to open up the like little sliding glass door that we had. I peeked my head out. Literally, I could see the hot tub from our room, and I said, sorry, haunted possum energy, gotta go. Everyone rolled their eyes, thought we were crazy, and went back to what they were doing. I opened up the door, kind of like left it open a crack so some like clean fresh air could get in, and then left the like curtain closed over the open door so we weren't being too loud and so we weren't bugging anyone so that they could continue to have their chats over there at the hot tub. So Eleanor and I are just like sitting there like kind of like just feeling heavier and heavier in the room, and there's really no specific reason for it. It just started to feel weird. And that was when our friend Eli comes back, and he's like playing with the curtains the same way that I showed in that video. Like you can see him like moving the curtain in and out, and we're like, oh my God, it's the possum. Like literally same reaction that we had previously. And we're laughing. He's continuing to do this, and that's when we see another set of hands like in the curtains, like above his set of hands, like moving the curtain in and out, and we're like laughing. We see somebody run from the part of the curtain where the door was open all the way in, and we're waiting for them to jump out, you know, to like make themselves known. We're laughing, we're like saying how freaked out we are, like we're playing into it. No one ever comes out from behind the curtain. And eventually, the thing that looked like a person standing there just goes flat. Except these hand movements at the curtain continue. This is when we both just looked at each other, and I said, Eleanor, there's nobody there. And she was like, there has to be someone there. They're like messing with us. We're talking quietly because we think obviously like they're there and they're messing with us. So I go over as quietly as possible. These curtains are not sheer. They are fully opaque, huge curtains. Nobody could have heard me. Nobody saw me coming, anything like that. I whip open the curtains. Everybody is still sitting at the hot tub, and no one has moved, and there is no way they could have gotten all the way back over there. It was close, not close enough that somebody could have been like standing there like messing with the curtains and then 2 seconds later be sitting back at the hot tub. We both like lost it at this point. It was so obvious what we had seen, and it was so obvious like what had happened, but then to open up that curtain and see no one standing there was unbelievable. It wasn't even a conscious thought in our heads. Like we were positive somebody had to have been playing a joke on us. So we're sitting there, and for some reason we're like, we should see if it'll happen again. And so we leave the curtain exactly the way that it is, but basically all that happened was like wind moved it. Like there were little like divots like in the curtain, but it was just like the wind moving it naturally. What we saw before I started recording was like somebody like pushing the curtain in and out, like the same way that it looked in that video with our friend Eli. But then the minute I started recording, it just stopped. And if I stopped recording, it would start again. And it felt very heavy, very weird. We barely slept that night. Wound up closing everything up, like saying, you know, a few good words and putting some good energy out there. But it was a very bizarre feeling and a very bizarre experience. And I really want to know what you guys think of this, because I have no idea what to call that. I have no idea what to think of that. The fact that so many people were like, no, that's bad, like bad, 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 especially like if you're on this island, which we were, like that's bad, stay away from it, whatever. I think my biggest thing is that I'm very used to like experiencing overwhelming energy or feelings or seeing things out of the corner of my eye, but to see something so real to the point that we saw what looked like a person behind the curtain about to jump out at us and then it just went flat. Like, I have never seen anything like that in my life. It was bizarre. And to this day, neither of us has an explanation for it. Even Eleanor was like, I cannot believe that just happened. Like, it was unsettling. What do you guys think of this video? What do you think of this story? It was definitely a creepy one, to say the least. So let me know what you think of everything down below. And I really do mean that. Like, this is not like, leave more comments. Like, if you have any theory on what that could have been, that it was so powerful that like it was mocking the way our friend was like moving the curtains and then making a whole freaking human apparition behind a curtain and then making it disappear, let a girl know. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Thank you once again to Dove for sponsoring today's video. I love you guys so very much, and I will see you next time. Bye.